So what is causing the stock market to push up today? Let's go ahead and break this down. Again, I really hope that you guys learned something new. And if you do, please consider dropping a thumbs up and subscribing if you feel like we earned it. Let me go ahead and start sharing my screen. You guys can see that the overall NASDAQ market, we got QQQ was hitting highs right at market open, pulled on back, held above the moving average, and surprise, surprise, just like it's been doing all week, it's finding any reason to continue to rally. So one thing that we can see is that we're going back to retest the previous highs on QQQ, which is the NASDAQ ETF of 367.40. So you can see that we're at these overbought levels. I would be very, very careful in entering a short position when the market is so bullish, right? This week is a little bit different because now market sentiment is really beginning to change. And following with the economic reports that were released today, I would say are the biggest contributor to why the market is pushing up so much today. Check this out. Market was down, right? So from where we closed at yesterday to where we were pre-market, we were down. I mean, we're showing signs of progress, but we were still down. All of a sudden, right, 1 hour before the market opened, it gapped up. What happened? What shifted in the NASDAQ market? Very simple, right? We talked about it yesterday. 1 hour before the market opened at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, there's a handful of economic reports such as the non-farm payroll, the non-farm private payroll, and also the unemployment rate, the most significant reports that were being released. These came in way lower than what was expected, or for the unemployment rate, higher than what was expected. So non-farm payrolls, we have an overall reporting of 150K versus the expected 175K. We have the non-farm private payrolls at 99K versus the expectation of 143. I mean, those are very significant misses. Now, this is showing that payroll is dropping, which means that, supporting the case of 3.9%, the expectation of unemployment was 3.8%. Unemployment is going up. You might be asking, well, Ricky, why is that a good thing? We're looking at this through the eyes of the Federal Reserve. And remember, the Federal Reserve wants to see that our economy, our labor market is slowing down, because when the economy is too sound, too strong, and too resilient, that is when inflation begins to go back up again. And what does the Federal Reserve do when inflation is going back up? They raise interest rates. So by the unemployment rate and by those non-farm payrolls coming in lower than what was expected, and for unemployment rate coming in higher than what was expected, that is supporting the case that the labor market is slowing down. And that is good from the Federal Reserve, because at that point, if the labor market is slowing down, then they have less of a reason to justify why they should be raising rates, right? And this is why we began to see a shift with the Fed rate monitor tool. At one point, we were at 15% probability that they were going to raise rates in the month of December. But now it went to a 95% probability that the Federal Reserve is going to pause once again. And again, a lot of this has to do with the contribution of what was announced today during those series of economic reports. And this is why I've said it so many times, right? First off, all of you guys all should have access to an economic report. You can Google search it, free economic reports. There's a bunch of different websites out there. You don't have to use the one that I use. If anything, the one that I use kind of sucks. But with that being said, it's really important to stay up to date, to know the schedule of what is being released on a weekly basis. Because as you can see, someone could have been shorting the market. They're like, oh, heck yeah, right? I'm going to short the market today. Market's down. I'm going to make money. Then all of a sudden, in 1 minute, there's a quick shift. Well, it would have not been a surprise if you would have had an economic calendar, right? And my job here is just to inform you on how you can better prepare. Never here to predict, but just better prepare. Make you aware of the different variables and catalysts that can affect the market, right? So other than that, NASDAQ market is having an amazing week. From Friday of last week to Monday market open, we've seen nothing but signs of progress. I mean, the market literally looks unstoppable right now. Just like last week and for the past 2 weeks, right? The market looked extremely bearish. Nothing, even with big tech reporting positive earnings, everything was causing the market to sell off for the previous 2 weeks. But this week, that dynamic, that market sentiment is changing. You can punch air, you can do whatever, you can say whatever it is that you want, but at the end of the day, this happens time and time again. So you can either work with the market or choose to just, I guess, sit on the sidelines. And that's never a bad idea. Like, I want to use myself as an example. I missed this play. So during today's live trading session, we saw this initial pullback. I was like, oh, okay, it's bouncing off the EMA line. It wouldn't surprise me if it bounces. I mean, I didn't expect it to continue to try to rally because the market was already so overbought. And I just didn't feel the need to open a position when the market is already so overbought. So I'm choosing to stay cash. And that's okay, right? You don't always have to force a position, especially on a Friday when it's normally slower, right? And going into a 2-day weekend, force a position that doesn't really make sense. So I'm just here to remind you that when in doubt, never be afraid to stay cash, right? And allow the opportunity to truly present itself and not feeling forced or the need to trade when obviously conditions are maybe not as favorable or risk to reward ratios are not there for you, right? So I really do appreciate you guys' time. Just wanted to give you guys and bring you guys up to date on what is causing the overall market to push up today. And that is thanks to all the economic reports for the labor market that were released today. So again, I do trade live every single morning right at market open. If you want to watch me trade live as soon as Monday, again, it's my live trading with LPP. It's the second link in the description down below. And I want to remind you, I do this every single day. You also get access to our A to Z video lesson library. It's a one-time payment, lifetime access, and you'll get to watch me trade live every single day. Also, don't forget to enter our 72-hour BMW giveaway that just started today, and it ends on Sunday, and the winner is going to be selected on Monday. If you want to learn more about that, it's the fourth link in the description down below, or head on over to shoptechbuds.com right now to enter. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.